Let me ask you something that might sting a little. When was the last time you did something that genuinely scared you? Not horror movie scared, but the kind of fear that comes from stepping outside your carefully constructed comfort zone? If you're struggling to remember, you're not alone, and that's exactly the problem. We've become so obsessed with comfort that we've turned our lives into padded cells where nothing can hurt us, but nothing extraordinary can reach us either. Your comfortable routine, your predictable schedule, your safe choices, they're not protecting you, they're suffocating your potential. Think about it. Every single day you wake up, hit snooze 3 times, scroll through your phone for 20 minutes, rush through the same morning routine, go to the same job, have the same conversations, eat the same meals, watch the same type of content, and collapse into bed telling yourself tomorrow will be different. But tomorrow isn't different because you've optimized your entire life for minimal resistance, maximum comfort. And here's the brutal truth: comfort and growth cannot coexist in the same space. They are fundamentally opposed forces. Growth requires discomfort, uncertainty, risk, failure, embarrassment, doubt, all the things we've been taught to avoid at all costs. There's a reason why every single successful person you admire has a story of leaving comfort behind. They talk about quitting the stable job, moving to a new city, starting over, taking the leap. It's not because they're reckless or stupid. It's because they understood something crucial. The comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there. You know what grows in comfort? Regret, complacency, the nagging voice that whispers what if at 3 in the morning. Your potential doesn't live in your comfort zone. It lives just beyond the edge of what feels safe, in the territory that makes your palms sweat and your heart race. Every time you choose comfort over growth, you're making a trade. You're trading who you could become for who you currently are. And the devastating part is that this trade feels so innocent in the moment. Staying in bed an extra hour instead of going to the gym, that's just self-care, right? Watching another episode instead of working on your project, that's just relaxation after a hard day, isn't it? Wrong. You wake up and immediately check your phone. Before your feet hit the floor, you've already consumed 30 minutes of other people's highlight reels, doom scrolling through news you can't control, watching videos you won't remember in an hour. You finally start your day, sit down to work on something important, and within 5 minutes you're checking your email, responding to a text, looking up something on Google that leads to Wikipedia, which leads to YouTube, which leads to 2 hours vanishing into thin air. You had plans to work on your business idea, write that book, learn that skill, but somehow the day is over and you've accomplished nothing except feeling exhausted from being busy doing nothing of value. Here's the terrifying math. The average person spends 7 hours a day on screens, with at least 3 of those hours being pure distraction on social media and entertainment. That's 21 hours a week, 91 hours a month, 1,095 hours a year. Do you understand what you could build with 1,000 hours of focused work? You could master a language, build a business, get in the best shape of your life, write a book, develop a skill that changes your income level, but instead, you traded all of that potential for the dopamine hit of notifications, the false connection of social media, and the numbing comfort of endless entertainment. And the worst part? You know this. You feel it every time you close TikTok or Instagram and realize an hour just disappeared. You feel the shame, the guilt, the frustration with yourself. But then tomorrow comes and you do it all over again because distraction isn't just a habit anymore. It's an addiction carefully engineered by the smartest minds in technology to keep you hooked. These apps, these platforms, they're not designed to make your life better. They're designed to extract your attention and monetize it. Every algorithm is optimized to keep you scrolling just 1 more minute, watching just 1 more video, clicking just 1 more link. And while you're distracted, your dreams are dying. Your potential is wasting away. Your competitors, the people who will achieve what you could have achieved, they're working while you scroll. Let's cut through all the surface level excuses and get to the real reason you're not living up to your potential. You're terrified of failing. Not just a little nervous, but deeply fundamentally afraid of what it means if you try and don't succeed. Because right now, in your current state of untapped potential, you get to live in a comfortable fantasy. You get to tell yourself, I could be great if I really tried. You get to maintain the illusion that you're just one decision away from success, that your potential is this vast, unlimited thing waiting to be unleashed. The moment you actually try, the moment you put yourself out there, work on your idea, create something, take the risk, you might discover that you're not as talented as you thought. You might fail publicly. People might judge you. You might confirm your worst fear, that you're actually not special at all, so you don't try. You stay in the safe space of potential where you can't be proven wrong, where you can't disappoint yourself or others, where you can maintain the comfortable fiction that you're destined for greatness without ever having to prove it. But here's what you haven't considered: you're already failing. Right now, by not trying, you're experiencing the worst kind of failure, the failure of never knowing what you could have been. At least if you try and fail, you learn something, you grow, you get data, you can adjust and try again. But when you don't try at all, you learn nothing except how to become really good at making excuses. And let me tell you something about failure that nobody wants to hear. Failure is not the opposite of success, it's the pathway to it. Every single person you admire has failed more times than you've even tried. The difference is they didn't let fear paralyze them into inaction. They understood that the only real failure is giving up or never starting at all. You're also operating under a massive delusion about timing. You're waiting for the right time to start. When you have more money, when you have more time, when you feel more ready, when the circumstances are perfect. Let me shatter this illusion right now. There will never be a perfect time. The right time is always now, and every day you wait is a day you'll never get back. That business you want to start, someone less qualified is starting it today. That book you want to write, someone with less to say is writing it now. Stop waiting, start failing, start learning. Start becoming. Here's a concept that's going to change everything for you. If you truly understand it, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your identity. Read that again because it's the most important sentence in this entire video. You can set all the goals you want, make all the plans, have all the motivation, but if your identity, the story you tell yourself about who you are, doesn't change, you will always snap back to your default self like a rubber band stretched too far. Let me explain what I mean. If you see yourself as someone who's lazy, guess what? When you try to wake up early and be productive, it feels wrong. It feels like you're pretending to be someone you're not. So you self-sabotage, you sleep in, you procrastinate because that's what lazy people do, and you've decided that's who you are. If you see yourself as someone who's not good with money, you'll find ways to stay broke even when you get a raise. If you see yourself as someone who's socially awkward, you'll avoid social situations that could help you grow. Your identity is the operating system, and your behaviors are just programs running on that system. You can try to change the programs all you want, but if the operating system stays the same, nothing fundamentally changes. So how do you change your identity? It starts with the stories you tell yourself. Pay attention to the language you use when you describe yourself. I'm not a morning person. I'm just not disciplined. I'm terrible at public speaking. I'm not creative. Every time you say these things, you're reinforcing an identity that limits your potential. Instead, you need to start speaking about yourself as the person you're becoming, not the person you've been. Instead of, I'm not a morning person, try, I'm becoming someone who owns their mornings. Instead of, I'm not disciplined, try, I'm building discipline one decision at a time. This isn't toxic positivity or lying to yourself. This is recognizing that identity is fluid, not fixed, and you get to choose who you become. But language alone isn't enough. Identity is ultimately proven through action. You become a writer by writing, not by calling yourself a writer. You become disciplined by making disciplined choices, not by wishing you were disciplined. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Go to the gym, that's a vote for being healthy. Skip it, that's a vote for being sedentary. Your identity changes when you consistently cast votes for your new self. Right now, you're feeling motivated. You're nodding along, thinking, yes, this is it. I'm going to change starting today. But let me tell you what's going to happen if you're like 99% of people. You'll finish this video, feel pumped for about 30 minutes, maybe an hour. You might even do something productive. But then tomorrow comes, or the day after, and that motivation fades. The discomfort of change sets in. The old patterns start whispering their familiar songs. And within a week, you're right back where you started, except now you also have the additional burden of having failed at changing once again. This cycle of motivation and failure has happened to you dozens, maybe hundreds of times before. So why would this time be any different? Because you're going to learn about the 48-hour rule, and if you apply it, everything changes. Here's the rule. Your decision to change means absolutely nothing. What matters is what you do in the 48 hours immediately after making that decision. Those first 2 days are when you prove to yourself that you're serious, that this isn't just another wave of temporary motivation, that you're actually committed to becoming someone different. If you can make it 48 hours taking consistent action toward your new identity, you create momentum. You give yourself evidence that change is possible. You start to believe in yourself not because of empty affirmations, but because you have proof. Most people fail because they think change is about having one moment of decision and then coasting on that decision. But decision without immediate action is just fantasy. You need to strike while the iron is hot, while the motivation is high, while the pain of staying the same is fresh in your mind. So here's what you do. In the next 48 hours, you're going to take one small but meaningful action toward the person you want to become every single day. Notice I said small. We're not trying to overhaul your entire life in 2 days. We're trying to build evidence and momentum. If you want to become a writer, write 200 words today and 200 words tomorrow. If you want to become fit, do a 20-minute workout today and tomorrow. If you want to become an entrepreneur, spend 1 hour working on your business idea today and tomorrow. The specific action doesn't matter nearly as much as the consistency. You're teaching yourself that you're someone who follows through, someone who keeps commitments to themselves, someone who doesn't just talk about change but actually implements it. Pass this test and transformation becomes possible. If I could give you only one piece of advice that would transform your entire life, it would be this: win your morning, win your day, win your days, win your life. It sounds simple, almost too simple, but the truth is that most people lose their potential in the first 60 minutes after waking up. They hit snooze, immediately grab their phone, get sucked into the chaos of emails and social media, and by the time they actually start their day, they're already reactive, already behind, already operating from a place of responding to the world instead of creating their world. Your morning is the only time that truly belongs to you. Before the demands of work, family, obligations, and other people's agendas take over, you have a window where you can invest in yourself, in your goals, in your potential. But most people treat this sacred time like it's worthless. They sleep through it, waste it, or give it away to distractions. And then they wonder why they never have time to work on what matters. Let me break down what a powerful morning looks like. First, you wake up at a consistent time, early enough that you have at least 1 hour before you need to start your regular obligations. I don't care if you're not a morning person. That's just an identity you've chosen that's limiting your potential. When you wake up, and this is crucial, you do not check your phone. The moment you open your phone, you've given away your attention, your energy, and your agency. Instead, drink water to hydrate your body. Then, move your body for even just 10 minutes. This doesn't have to be an intense workout, just something to get your blood flowing, a short walk, some stretching, basic exercises, anything that signals to your body that we're awake and engaged with life now. After movement comes the most important part. You spend at least 30 minutes, ideally an hour, working on your most important goal before you do anything else. Not after breakfast, not after getting ready, not after checking email. First, if you're building a business, work on your business. If you're writing a book, write. If you're learning a skill, practice. This is your power hour, and it's non-negotiable. If you work on your most important goal for just 1 hour every morning, that's 365 hours a year. That's more than 9 40-hour work weeks dedicated purely to your potential. How could you not transform your life with that kind of focused investment? We need to talk about something that most motivational content completely ignores. Willpower is a finite resource, and if you're relying on willpower alone to change your life, you've already lost. You'll have moments of strength where you resist temptation and make good choices, but willpower depletes throughout the day. By evening, when you're tired and stressed, your willpower is basically zero, and that's when you make the worst decisions. Eat junk food, skip the workout, watch Netflix instead of working on your project, scroll through social media for hours. The solution isn't to magically develop superhuman willpower. The solution is to design your environment so that good choices are easy and bad choices are hard. Your environment is stronger than your intentions, and if you get this right, you can literally make it almost impossible to waste your potential. Let's start with your physical space. Look around your room right now. Want to stop wasting time on your phone? Delete social media apps and use website blockers. Create friction, but environment isn't just physical, it's also social. This is the hard truth nobody wants to hear. Some of the people in your life are actively holding you back. Not necessarily because they're bad people, but because they represent and reinforce your old identity. When you start changing, it makes them uncomfortable because your growth highlights their stagnation. You need to create distance from people who drain your energy and make you smaller, and you need to surround yourself with people who inspire you to grow. Who you spend time with is who you become. Here's the final piece of the puzzle that determines whether you actually change or just temporarily feel motivated: accountability. Left to your own devices, with no external pressure or structure, you will absolutely fall back into old patterns. This isn't a personal failing, it's human nature. We're incredibly good at lying to ourselves, at making excuses, at justifying why today is different, and we can skip our commitment just this once. That just this once becomes twice, then 3 times, then you've completely fallen off track and you're back where you started. The solution is to create accountability systems that make it harder to quit than to continue. First, make your goals public. Tell people what you're working on. Post about it on social media. Tell your friends and family. Yes, this is scary because now if you fail, people will know. That's exactly the point. Public commitment creates healthy pressure. You're not just letting yourself down anymore, you're letting down everyone you told. This might sound harsh, but this pressure is a gift. It's the external motivation that kicks in when your internal motivation fades. Second, find an accountability partner or join an accountability group. This is someone or a group of people working on their own goals who check in with you regularly about your progress. Daily check-ins are ideal. Every morning you message each other what you're committing to do that day. Every evening you report whether you did it. When you know someone is waiting for your update, when you know you'll have to admit you didn't follow through, you're far more likely to actually do the work. This isn't about judgment. It's about creating a structure where consistency becomes your default. Third, track your progress visually. Get a calendar and mark an X every day you work on your goal. The chain of X's becomes something you don't want to break. Use apps, journals, spreadsheets, whatever works for you, but make your progress visible. There's something powerful about seeing evidence of your consistency. On hard days when motivation is low, you can look at your streak and think, I've done this for 30 days straight. I'm not breaking that now. Finally, celebrate small wins. This is crucial and often overlooked. When you hit a milestone, acknowledge it. Treat yourself to something meaningful. Your brain needs to associate working toward your goals with good feelings, not just delayed gratification that never seems to arrive. Every day you show up is a win. Every week you maintain consistency is worth celebrating. Build momentum through consistency, protect that momentum through accountability, and amplify it through celebration. This is how you ensure that the decision you make today becomes the actual turning point where your life changes forever. So here we are. You've made it to the end of this video, and now comes the moment of truth. What are you going to do in the next 60 minutes? Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready. Right now, in the next hour of your life, you have the opportunity to prove to yourself that this time is different, that you're not just another person who consumes motivational content and does nothing with it, that you're actually serious about stopping the waste of your potential. So let me ask you directly, what's the one action you can take in the next 60 minutes that moves you toward the person you want to become? Maybe it's deleting the social media apps that steal your time. Maybe it's writing the first paragraph of that book. Maybe it's sending that email you've been putting off. Maybe it's doing 20 push-ups. Maybe it's researching that course you need to take. Maybe it's having that difficult conversation. Whatever it is, you know what it is. That voice in your head right now, that uncomfortable feeling, that's your potential calling you. Don't ignore it. Don't push it away. Don't tell yourself you'll do it later. Do it now. Take out your phone, set a timer for 60 minutes, and commit to one focused hour of action. Not perfect action, not world-changing action. Just honest, focused effort toward becoming who you're meant to be, because here's what I need you to understand. Your potential is not infinite. It has an expiration date. Every day you don't use it, you lose it. Every year that passes where you stay the same, your window of opportunity gets smaller. The dreams you have right now, the person you imagine yourself becoming, that version of you is waiting, but they won't wait forever. There's a timeline where you actually did it, where you stopped making excuses, stopped choosing comfort, stopped wasting time, and actually became everything you're capable of being. In that timeline, you're proud of yourself. You're fulfilled. You're living with purpose and passion. You look back at today as the day everything changed, but there's also a timeline where you didn't do it. where you watched this video, felt inspired for a moment, and then went right back to your old patterns, where 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you're filled with regret, wondering what could have been if you just had the courage to start. Which timeline are you choosing? Because make no mistake, you are choosing right now. Your potential is not a gift, it's a responsibility. You were given talents, abilities, opportunities that others don't have, and what you do with them matters. Not just for you, but for everyone whose life you could touch if you stepped into your full power. The book you don't write. Someone who needed it will never read it. The business you don't start. Someone who would have worked there will never get that opportunity. The person you don't become, everyone who would have been inspired by your transformation will never see what's possible. You think this is just about you, but it's not. Your potential wasting away is a loss for everyone. So stop being selfish with your comfort. Stop hoarding your potential like it's something you can save for later. You can't. Use it or lose it. The world needs you to show up, to try, to fail, to learn, to grow, to become. Not the perfect version of you, the real, flawed, trying, growing version of you. I want you to imagine something with me. It's 1 year from today. You're sitting where you're sitting right now watching another motivational video, and you realize with horror that nothing has changed. You're still in the same situation, still making the same excuses, still wasting the same potential. How does that feel? Sit with that feeling for a moment. Let it hurt. Let it make you angry. Let it fuel you. Now imagine the alternative. 1 year from today, you look back at this moment, this video, this day, as the turning point. You remember how scared you were to start. You remember the first terrible attempts. You remember wanting to quit so many times, but you kept going. And now, 1 year later, you're unrecognizable. You're healthier, more confident, more capable. You've built something. You've achieved something. You've become someone. You look at your old self with compassion and pride, grateful that they finally found the courage to start. Which feeling do you want to have 1 year from now? The regret or the pride? Because you're choosing right now. Listen, I know change is scary. I know it's hard. I know you've failed before and you're afraid of failing again. I know you're tired. I know you have legitimate obstacles and challenges. I'm not dismissing any of that. But I'm also not going to lie to you and tell you it's going to be easy or that you can do it without sacrifice. You can't. You're going to have to give up comfort. You're going to have to disappoint some people. You're going to have to face your fears. You're going to have to do things that scare you every single day. But you know what's harder than all of that? Living with the knowledge that you had potential and you wasted it. Lying awake at night wondering what if. Watching others achieve what you could have achieved. Feeling like a fraud when people ask you about your dreams because you've given up on them. That's harder. So choose your hard. The heart of discipline or the heart of regret. The heart of growth or the heart of stagnation. Either way, it's going to be hard. But only one leads somewhere worth going. Before you leave this video, I want you to do something for me. I want you to comment below with one specific action you're going to take today. Not a vague intention like, I'm going to work harder. A specific, measurable action. I'm going to write 500 words. I'm going to delete Instagram. I'm going to sign up for that course. I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m. tomorrow. Make it public. Make it real. Make it something you can be held accountable to. And then I want you to come back in 48 hours and comment again whether you did it. This is your first accountability checkpoint. This is where you prove to yourself that you're different now. And if you're serious about transforming your life, if you want more content like this that will push you, challenge you, and help you become everything you're capable of being, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Because the journey doesn't end here. This is just the beginning. Your transformation requires consistent input, consistent reminders, consistent challenges to stay on the path when everything in you wants to fall back into comfort. Your potential is not coming back. The time you've already wasted is gone forever. You can't get back yesterday, last week, last year, but you have today. You have right now. You have this moment to decide that enough is enough. That you're done playing small, done making excuses, done wasting what you've been given. The day you decide to stop wasting your potential is not someday. It's today. It's right now. So what are you waiting for? Permission? You have it. The perfect moment? This is it. To feel ready? You never will. Everything you need to start is already inside you. Stop waiting. Stop planning. Stop preparing. Start. Take messy action. Make mistakes. Learn. Adjust. Keep going. That's how potential becomes reality. That's how dreams become achievements. That's how the person you are becomes the person you're meant to be. Now go. Close this video. Put down your phone. and do the thing you know you need to do. Your future self is watching. Your potential is waiting. The world is ready for you. All that's missing is your decision to finally, actually, truly begin. This is your moment. Don't waste it. Make today the day everything changed. Make today the day you decided to stop wasting your potential and start building your legacy. I believe in you. Now go prove me right. Your time is now.